Hey pilgrims, welcome or welcome back. As you can presumably tell from the title, this is 5 things that I sincerely believe are worth their weight in gold on the Camino de Santiago. If you don't know very much about the Camino de Santiago, you can click here. This is my FAQs/basics/fundamentals of the Camino. This will be a useful starting point if you don't quite know what I'm talking about yet. This advice is based on my first Camino, which I did 2 years ago. I walked from Saint-Jean to Santiago, and I'm gearing up for my second Camino. It's T-minus 40 days until I leave. Take everything I say here with a grain of salt. This is what works for me. I'm not saying this is what you need to use. This is just, you know, everyone has their own Camino, and that's what's beautiful about it. You live and let live. These are my things. You may find it useful. If you don't, that's fine too. Off we go then. Numero uno. This one is obvious. Earplugs. Bring earplugs even if you don't think you're going to use them. They're cheap, you can throw them away. It was referred to one night as the Super Bowl of snoring. It can get pretty ridiculous. So it's good to have the option to block it out should the need arise. Also, plane rides. Earplugs, they go together really well. Numero dos. Little key light thingy. This is useful if you figure that you're ever going to be wandering around the dorm when everyone else is sleeping in the dark. This could be because you kind of go to bed a little later than other people, although that isn't really much of an option. Or if you have to get up in the middle of the night to go to the bathroom. Or if you're one of those people, like I am, that gets up early when people are still sleeping. You need to be respectful of the fact that other people are still sleeping. It sounds really obvious, but to a lot of people it doesn't seem like it is. This is one step in the right direction to do that. A lot of people have like head torches and flashlights. Those are really good at finding arrows. They're also really good at pissing people off. This allows you to see enough what you're doing without distracting and waking up everybody around you. I usually have things like packed when I go to bed at night, and when I wake up in the morning I take it out of the dorm to like do all my stuff that I need to do. But I have this like on a lanyard around my neck so that I can just make sure as I'm picking my stuff up that I haven't left anything behind, because first night I left my headlamp. That's kind of embarrassing. There's a headlamp somewhere with my name on it in Saint-Jean-Pied-du-Port. These would not be very helpful in finding arrows. So bring this as a supplement to your headlamp. A lot of people would never use something like this, but for me, I am really not good in the heat, so when it's hot out, I tend to get up earlier so that I don't have to walk in the worst of the heat of the day. Numero tres. An e-reader. I can carry like 30,000 books on this, and it can be uncharged for like 40 hours of reading or something ridiculous like that. I keep it in just a little like foam case. This is a Kobo, in case you're wondering. I know a lot of people get Kindles. I don't know, I have a Kobo. I don't know if it's a Canadian thing. It's really light, and for me it's really worth it, especially considering the 14 hours that it takes me to get from Canada to Spain. This only costs about $100, so for me, I'm not worried about taking it with me because I'm not worried about getting it stolen. So it's not like taking an iPad where you're kind of worried about it the whole time. It's kind of in the back of your mind. But for me, the negative of the cost is the actual cost of the ebooks. You would think they would be cheaper, but I find they're not. I can get a physical copy of a book, for the most part, for about the same price. So that's what I've been doing, but for this I'm gonna splurge because I will read them. Numero cuatro. Walking sandals. Now, the reason I think these are good is because most people take a second pair of shoes as well. Usually they're flip-flops or Crocs. Nice to put on your feet after having them in boots all day, because the last thing you want to do is put those stinking boots back on once you've taken them off and showered. For me, if you're bringing a second pair, you might as well bring something that could be useful in case something goes a little wrong. I got a lot of blisters last time, and I bandaged up my feet and stuff and put my socks on, and it was kind of hard to fit my feet into my boots without moving all that around. So I decided to try walking in my sandals, and I ended up walking in them for about 250 kilometers until they snapped. They were Nikes, and they had like just 2 straps across it. They were open toe. This time I'm definitely going to go with something with a capped toe so that I don't get rocks in it, and that's what I'd recommend. And having the 2 straps, there's just, you know, there's 2 places where it can break, and that makes it a lot more likely to break, I think, especially when you're wearing it this much, this constantly. It's not for everyone. They are a lot more expensive, obviously, than Crocs and than flip-flops, but for me, it's worth the peace of mind of having that backup. Numero cinco. I have a really weird pinky. Shampoo bars. Shampoo, soap, laundry soap. You're good to go. I'm bringing 2 because I have really long hair. Last time I used it on my hair and my body every single day, and it lasted me until about the last couple days of the Camino, and I went and bought some shampoo. It's pretty light. It avoids liquid restrictions on planes if you carry on your bag. Basically what you do with it is you get it wet and you either just rub it on your hair or you can lather it up in your hands and use that. It's from a store called Lush. This is about $10 or $11 and these tins are from Lush as well, and this is how I store them. As you can see, this one is made for it, but when it's wet and you put it in there, it's really hard to get out. So I'd recommend getting this square tin. It's for a different product because then you still have room to pry it out. What I do is I line this with like a little piece of paper towel and I just let it dry on there. If you put it straight in here like this, it tends to get stuck to the bottom. This is obviously good for any type of travel, not just the Camino. If you want any more tips on how to use this or how I store it, how to choose one, because there's like 10, let me know. And so with that, I guess I conclude episode 2 of Lindsay gives advice on the Camino to people who could use said advice. I hope pilgrims are finding this video. A lot of people found my last video just from searching stuff about the Camino, so I'm glad that this is reaching the people that it's supposed to be reaching. Be sure to subscribe. If you want more Camino tips, I'll be putting out more, so if you subscribe now, you'll get them. Let me know about your upcoming Camino or your past Camino. If you see me on the trail in May, say hello. That would be really surreal for me. That would be really, really cool. This is when the serious preparation starts. I'm 40 days away from leaving, and I'm getting pretty jazzed. Okay, well, Ultrea y buen camino a todos, y I'll see you later.